I want to read you what you said, make sure I'm accurate. Here's what you said. President Trump is not like any sane leader. I'm very proud of General Milley for saying that President Trump is a total fascist. You think you're smarter than the American people, don't you?
What you're about to watch is one of the most telling moments ever caught in a Senate hearing. Senator Kennedy goes head-to-head with the general, and it's a masterclass in how real accountability is supposed to work. This is why Kennedy scares the DC elite. He's not playing along, he's not impressed, and he's definitely not intimidated by someone hiding behind rank and rehearsed talking points. When a smug bureaucrat strolls in dripping with arrogance, Kennedy doesn't just question him, he dismantles him. Facts in hand, pressure turned all the way up. Watch the full exchange, because after this, we need to break down how brutal this takedown really was. Let's roll the tape.
General,
Yes,
you
sir.
believe in open borders, don't you?
I believe in the rule of law, sir.
Right. And it makes you angry that President Trump does not believe in open borders, doesn't it?
Senator, I'm not here to discuss immigration policy. I'm here to discuss whether or not we use the military to enforce it.
And it makes you angry that most Americans don't believe in open borders, doesn't it?
Not in the slightest, sir. Again, I am not here to discuss the immigration policy.
Yeah. Duty, honor, respect, you talked about that
Yes,
in
Senator.
your opening statement. On October 14th of this year, you went on CNN. I want to read you what you said, make sure I'm accurate. Here's what you said. President Trump is not like any sane leader. I'm very proud of General Milley for saying that President Trump is a total fascist. To Bob Woodward, if he, as chairman of the Joint Chiefs, is calling the president a fascist, I'm so proud of him for breaking that barrier. The challenge is because most MAGA Republicans, they don't understand what fascism is. The reality is that they are, in fact, fascists themselves. Did I read that accurately?
Senator, I am happy to discuss my personal perspectives with you separately at any time. That's not the purpose of the hearing today.
Did I read that accurately?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. You think you're smarter than the American people, don't you?
Absolutely not, Senator. I am here to discuss the use of the military as part of this mass deportation.
You think you're more virtuous than the American people, don't you, General?
Senator, I am insulted by your comment.
Duty, honor, and respect. You talked about that in your opening statement, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Moran said, I wrote down her words. She said, by their actions, you know what someone's character is like. You agree with that?
Senator, for 35 years, I served my country with absolute honor and distinction, and I will continue to do so.
You agree with what Ms. Moran said?
Of course.
Mr., we've got a few minutes left.
23 seconds.
Well, actually, you let Ms. Klobuchar go well over, so I'm assuming you'll extend me the
I'll
same.
give you the
purpose.
same minute I gave to her.
You gave it a minute 20. I timed it.
You're using.
I watch you like a hawk, Dick. Mr. Melnick, Mr. Reichland Melnick, you believe in open borders too, don't you?
I do not, Mr. Kennedy.
Okay. On November 1st, 2022, you tweeted, both Texas and Louisiana have their knives out for black immigrants. Do you remember that tweet?
I don't, but it's quite possible.
What Texans, it's not only possible, it happened. You're not denying it, are you?
No, I'm saying, referring
What
to the
Texans?
context.
Who are
I
you
actually
talking
don't
to?
know the
Who
context.
are you talking to about who in Texas had their knives out for black immigrants?
Guessing the context, but my suspicion is
Give
that
me
it
a
has to
name.
do the
Give me a
Attorney
name.
General Ken Paxton and
Give
the
me a
Attorney
name.
General of
Give me a
Louisiana.
name.
I just did.
You don't have a name, do you?
I just said Ken Paxton.
You don't have a name, do you? You just said it, didn't you?
Just said Ken Paxton.
All right, how about Louisiana? You said Louisiana has its knives out for black immigrants. Who in Louisiana were you talking about?
Again, I'm not certain. That was 2 years ago, and as I'm sure you know, much has happened in the last 2 years.
Well, did you say it?
Again, I do not remember the context,
But you don't.
Senator
You
Kennedy.
said somebody had their knives out from Louisiana for black immigrants, but you don't know who they were. You just said it.
I said the Attorney General of Louisiana and Texas, and I believe this referred to specifically lawsuits brought and arguments that were made in court that the arrival of Haitians
I'm out
and
of time,
others
but I
were
want to get you
inherently
on the
dangerous,
record.
which was
You
not.
Thank you very much, Senator.
believe
Appreciate
that the
your
Attorney
questions.
General at that time of Louisiana had his knives out for black immigrants. That's your testimony.
Given their
Thank you,
litigation
Senator Kennedy.
conduct, yes.
Seriously, what did we just witness? That wasn't a hearing. That was a clinic in accountability. This is what every hearing in Washington should look like, and almost none of them do. So let's skip the fluff and go straight to the moment that mattered. Senator Kennedy looks the general dead in the eye and asks the most basic question imaginable. Do you believe in open borders? And how does the general respond? With the greasiest, most rehearsed non-answer in politics. I believe in the rule of law, sir. Give me a break. That's the universal dodge. That's what people say when the real answer would get them in trouble. Translation? Yes. It's a coward's yes. Because if you actually believed in a secure border, you'd say it. Full stop. Anything else is just hiding from the American people. And Kennedy knows it. He smells it instantly. He knows this isn't a neutral officer. This is a partisan operator hiding behind a uniform. So he does what almost no one else does. He pulls the receipts. He reads the general's own words, straight from a CNN interview. And this is where the whole act implodes. The mask doesn't slip. It gets ripped off. This same general, who lectures everyone about duty, honor, and respect, went on national TV and called his own commander-in-chief an unhinged leader and a fascist. A sitting U.S. general calling the president a fascist. And it gets worse. He didn't just stop there, he labeled most MAGA Republicans, roughly 75 million Americans, as fascists too. Let that sink in. This isn't some blue-haired TikTok activist screaming into a phone. This is a general in the United States military. A man who openly despises over half the country he's sworn to serve. And under oath, he has to admit it. I believe so, yes. That's when Kennedy goes for the jugular. He doesn't dance. He doesn't soften it. He asks the question everyone at home is thinking. You think you're smarter than the American people? You think you're morally superior to them? And the response? Unreal. Senator, I am insulted by your comment. Insulted? You just smeared tens of millions of Americans, parents, veterans, nurses, firefighters, as fascists. You dropped the ugliest label imaginable on your fellow citizens, and your feelings are hurt? That right there is the arrogance. That's the DC bubble in a nutshell. That's the so-called expert class. They don't just disagree with you, they despise you. If you want a secure border and didn't vote their way, they see you as the enemy. And Kennedy exposed it all. When he threw that duty, honor, respect line right back at him at the end, that was the kill shot. Message received loud and clear. Your words mean nothing when you hate the people you swore to protect. This is why these hearings matter. This is why we need fighters like John Kennedy. He didn't grandstand, he exposed raw, arrogant bias in real time, under oath, with nowhere to hide. That wasn't cruelty. That was accountability. And that's literally the job. So what do you think? Did this general get exactly what he deserved? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, subscribe for more breakdowns, and I'll see you in the next one.